guys? It's January the 23rd, 2025, and I hope everybody's having a great day so far today. I was coming outside to film my video for today, and this is what I've got on my table. I brought a towel out here just to wipe off the seat, but everything's soaking wet, so I'm not going to film on there today. I figured I'd just walk around and kind of talk with you guys and just kind of tell a story today. I can't remember if I've ever told this story on here or not, but this really has to do with just the embarrassing things that we do when we're intoxicated. And, one of those reasons why not to drink today, because it's just one of these things that ends up happening when we get intoxicated. And it's a story that I'll never forget. And this story happened to me, I think I was in my late teens, like 19 or 20 years old, somewhere around there. So I guess I'll just go ahead and start. I had gone over to a friend of mine's house. There was a party, and it was like a Friday or Saturday night or something like that. I had to work that night and ended up going over there after I got off work, and got like extremely drunk, like blackout. I don't remember anything from the night at all. It was a total blackout night, and this is one of those things. I was blacking out at a very young age. I mean, I was blacking out as a teenager. A lot of people don't start blacking out till they get later in life. I was blacking out very young. So I was very I'd already blacked out numerous times leading up to this, but this time was a little bit different. So I, like I said, went over to this party after work one night. I'm pretty sure I had to work that night. It's kind of hazy, but I do remember the end of the story very, very well. But like I said, went to a friend of mine's house. We partied. I got completely wasted, and the next morning I woke up. It was very, very early, and I woke up. I was on the floor asleep. I had passed out, and like I said, I woke up. I wasn't. It was a friend of mine's house that I wasn't that comfortable with. Like, we weren't like super good friends. And when I woke up, I was super duper thirsty. I'll never forget that. I was like scrummaging around through this guy's kitchen, trying to find something to drink, and there weren't any clean cups anywhere. And another thing too, I went to drink out of the tap, and the water in the tap was like brown. That was coming out. So, and you know how it is when you're like super hungover like that. You are so dehydrated, and I just needed something to drink, like really bad. But it was still dark outside. So I'd woken up, it's probably like 6 a.m. or something like that, and like I said, I looked all over, couldn't find anything to drink, and decided I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. So I went ahead and left the house and said, I'm going to go ahead and stop by the gas station and get myself something to drink on my way home. And I know the exact gas station that I stopped at. It was a Circle K. It's right on the corner of these two main roads. So I stop at the gas station, and I'm going to grab myself like 2 of the big Gatorades. And I walk into the gas station, and when I walked in, the place was packed. Because like I said, this is at the intersection of like 2 really busy roads. And it must not have been a Friday or Saturday. Now I think about it, must have been like a Sunday night or something, because it was a work day. I remember that because there were a ton of people in this gas station, like getting gas. They were getting coffee and all kinds of stuff like that. And if it was, now that I think about it, if it had been a weekend, there wouldn't have been that many people in the gas station that early in the morning. And I know for a fact there were a ton of people in there, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. So when I walked into the gas station, immediately the clerk, they're like, hey, good morning, whatever. And when the clerk looked at me, she had the weirdest look on her face. Like, this look of like, what in the world? She just looked at me like I came in there with bad business in mind, is the only way I can describe the way that she looked at me. Like, she was afraid. And I walked to the back of the gas station to grab my Gatorades. And as I walked to the back of the gas station, like I said, there's people in there getting coffees and, little like Danishes and stuff like that. There's just a lot of people in there. There's people standing in line, and every single person I encounter in the gas station gives me that same exact look. Like, what in the world is going on with this guy is the look I kept getting. And it just really confused me. So I walked up and I waited in line. People are still looking at me. Nobody will look me directly in my eye, but people are giving me this look just like they're afraid of me. And I didn't quite understand what was going on. So I paid for my Gatorades, walked to the front, talked to the clerk. She seemed very, like I said, like really afraid of me. And she didn't say much. I paid for my stuff and I left. I got in my car and proceeded to drive home. I remember driving home, drinking my Gatorade, thinking to myself, like, what was that all about? That was the strangest encounter. I get home. And at this point, it's probably like 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And when I got home, the first thing I wanted to do was take a shower. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember going into the bathroom, turning the shower on, and starting to take my clothes off. And as I was taking my clothes off, I just happened to look at myself in the mirror. Well, now it all came together why everybody was looking at me the way that they were. It was because when I had blacked out and passed out the night before at this party, I don't know who did it. I just don't know. I never found out, but I guess a group of people decided to take permanent markers and draw all over my face, and they drew a clown face on me. And there was like some profane language across my forehead. I didn't have a baseball cap on or anything like that. I didn't wear glasses back then. So it was just, my face. And there was like profane language across my forehead. They had drawn a clown face on me. They had big red lips that went like this. I had the red cheeks, the red nose. They had drawn like the blue around the eyes. I mean, I looked like a clown. And that's when it struck me, and it just, this wave of embarrassment just ran through my body as I stood there looking at myself in the mirror, thinking to myself, no wonder those people in the gas station were looking at me so strange. They were probably like, who is this crazy lunatic who just walked into the gas station? And especially at that time in the morning, too. These people are probably like, is this guy coming in here to, like, rob the gas station or something like that? I'm sure that's probably what they were thinking, or I was going to do something really crazy. And I had absolutely no idea. None whatsoever. I never looked at myself in the rearview mirror as I drove or anything like that. And, I drove, in that house was far out in the country, too. So it was a long ride. And I never even looked at myself in the mirror. And like I said, when I looked at myself in the mirror, when I started to get into the shower and saw that, I mean, it was one of the most embarrassing feelings I've ever felt in my entire life. I realized I'd walked into this gas station with this stuff all over my face and had no idea. But that's just one of those things that happens, when we're drinking in that fashion, especially partying and stuff like that. And I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that story. I'll never forget the way I felt that day. And it's just one of those things now that, now that we don't drink anymore, it's just another thing that we don't have to worry about any longer, is those embarrassing moments like that. We don't have to worry about walking into a gas station at 6 o'clock in the morning because we're so dehydrated and we have a clown painted on our face, basically. And that's not the only time something really embarrassing like that's happened to me, or I've done something, when I was blackout drunk that I regret later in life. I've got a lot of regrets from when I was a drinker. A lot. I mean, a lot. And that's just why I wanted to talk about this today. Go back and think about something that's happened to you that was really embarrassing. Something that happened that you did when you were extremely drunk. And I don't remember what quite got me thinking about this today. Something sparked the idea in my head, and I can't quite remember what it was. And I had a point that I was going to discuss about it. I just can't remember. But, once again, it's just another one of those things that we no longer have to worry about, those embarrassing moments. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to embarrass ourselves. We might say something that we regret or something, because we all do that, even if we aren't drinking sometimes. Just stuff will come out of our mouths. But for the most part, we're not going to do stuff like that. I mean, we're just not. And it's just so nice not to have to worry about that anymore. I've spoken about this so many times, but I used to wake up in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and just jerk up out of the bed because of something that I had done or said, that I would get like this flashback in the middle of the night. I'd wake up, I'd have to go use the restroom or get a glass of water or something like that. And when I would wake up to do that, all of a sudden these little flashbacks would happen as I was, getting my glass of water or something like that. I would get these little, like, really quick glimpses into the night before that I had completely forgotten until just then. And it would never be the whole story. It would only be like me saying something to somebody, and then I couldn't remember anything else. And then like an hour later, I would have like another little glimpse of something that happened. But I would spend the whole next day trying to piece together what had happened the night before, and trying to remember what I'd done or what I'd said. And did I say something that I was going to really, really regret, or do something that I was really, really going to regret? And that used to happen to me almost every single day. I'm not kidding. Especially when I would like go out to the bars and stuff like that and go hang out all the time. I mean, I was making a fool out of myself all the time. And I gotta say, it's one of the best things about this for me, because I did embarrass myself a lot, and I don't have to worry about doing that any longer. If you guys got any stories like that you'd like to throw into the comments, I'd love to hear about it. That's just one of my stories of an embarrassing thing that I've done. But once again, I don't have to worry about doing that kind of stuff anymore. It's just one of the great parts about not drinking any longer. We remember every single thing that we do, every single thing that we say. No more getting drunk and getting into a fight with our spouse and saying something that we really didn't mean to say. We were just intoxicated. And when we get to drinking like that, it can really escalate our emotions and our feelings, and it can amplify things. If we were already angry and then we get to drinking, it's just going to make our anger that much worse. Some people not so much. Some people it calms them down, but for me it made it worse. And I would say things that I really didn't mean to say. It's just, I don't know. It's like I was possessed or something when I was drunk sometimes. I don't know. It's crazy. And I'm not saying that I was a violent drunk or anything like that. Not at all. I wasn't. But I did say some things that I wish I hadn't. And I've done some things that I wish I hadn't when I was drinking. And, I can't think of a time here since I've quit drinking that I've done anything like that. I just can't. And like I said, it's one of the great parts about not drinking anymore. So, guys, I'm going to leave this short today and go and hop off of here. My hands are freezing right now. So I hope you guys had a great day today. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, if you got any stories like that, I'd love to hear about them. Throw them in the comments. And until tomorrow, you guys have a great rest of your day. I love y'all so much.